Hello again, and welcome back to Advanced Minecraft. I received a question regarding how to best explore and expand your kingdom out in the wilderness. And there are quite a few things that people might overlook when they're expanding. First off, let me tell you, I went ahead and mined out all the clay that wasn't holding up the water. I'll get the rest of it at some other point, but one of the reasons I got the clay here is because of one of my first tips, which is breadcrumbs. The concept of breadcrumbs, and there's a creeper up on the hill, so let's make sure he doesn't come down here, is not... Oh, he disappeared. Not anything new. Just leaving a trail wherever it is that you're going so that you can follow your way back. And bricks that come from clay can be turned into brick blocks, which are excellent breadcrumbs for the reason that the world doesn't generate them randomly. It's one of the few items, well, actually there's quite a few items that don't, but one of the few items that really stand out that isn't light related. So if you're saving bricks for something like a brick house or a bridge, then it would be a waste to use them for this type of thing. But die, chicken. If you are in the dungeon specifically, in the caves, I find that using bricks is one of the better blocks to place because you know for sure that it means something. Basically, when it comes to breadcrumbs, and let me turn the music off here. I just did the re-downloads, the music came on. There we go. The concept of breadcrumbs is that you should know what they mean. If it's as simple as a bunch of torches leading you back to your base, that's great. But you should know which way to follow the torches if you have several different paths. So, sun's already up, it's late morning, I would suppose, so let's get started here. One thing you need to know is, well, obviously the point of breadcrumbs is finding your way back home. So if you want to be able to see your home from a distance, you should, consider building a large tower or something with lights around it so that even in the dark you can still find your way back. Now I've got a window there and I'd rather not close it off. But in the future, and I'm not going to go too far, I would build a large tower right over my main entrance to my mine, ring it with some torches so that even late at night, from a reasonable distance, I could still find my way back. And then you don't have to start your breadcrumbs off right in front of your base. What I've got here is I've got some torches, I've got lots of meat because you want to make sure that you're going to survive. I haven't gotten any armor yet, but it's early in the game and I'm not going to worry too much about it. The second most important thing, other than breadcrumbs obviously, is making sure that you're going to live. If you wander off exploring your territory, you find a great cave, you dig up 50 iron and then you die, there's a chance that by the time you get back, it's going to be gone. So you want to make sure that you can survive. So bring lots of meat and a full set of armor if you've got it. You don't need to bring wood, but you should bring an axe because you'll find trees. Just in case it starts getting dark and you're far away from home and you're not sure you can make it back, build yourself a little mini base. You never know, you might find it even better than the one you started with. You'll notice here that I've started off in a nice little bay. I could always build a boat and take off to sea. It's one of the quicker ways to explore around a continent or island. But what I'm going to look for is I'm going to look for exposed resources. So let's start off in any random direction. One of the basic things that you can do even before leaving breadcrumbs is just memorize obvious terrain that you can relate to where your base is. For example, a really good one is that floating island. If I see the floating island, I know that my base is right around the corner. There aren't going to be too many of those. But you'll see other things and you'll say, wow, that looks just like, a giant hand, or that looks like a face in the mountainside. And when you see that specific thing, it'll mean something to you and you'll be able to find your way home. I'm going to leave a few breadcrumbs as I go off here. Now, it just so happens that I'm pretty lucky and there's a nice little cave system right here. Die, cows! And that's the type of thing that you might be looking for if you leave your home base. I mean, people wander off for all sorts of different reasons in the game. You might just be looking for a nice flat area to build a castle or a little village or something like that. But typically, when you head off, you're looking for resources. If you don't connect directly to a large cave system at your main mine, wow, lava. this high up. You might be tempted to go wandering off to find coal, iron, lava somewhere else, and that's perfectly fine. And as long as you can find what you're looking for and get your way back. Now, a recent patch to the game was added so that if you have a bucket full of lava, you can use that to power a forge for 100 smelts. Wood only does 1 or 2. Coal tends to do, I don't know, about 5 maybe. I don't know the exact numbers, but if you get a bucket full of lava, it'll last you a long time. I don't know if it takes the bucket away or if it just empties the lava, because I haven't actually done it yet. But I will try to do that at some point in the series. Well, I know that I was going to discuss overworld exploration, and I think I'll stick to that, so I'm not going to go too far into this cave, because you guys are more interested right now in exploring the top side. But, I mean, hey, it never hurts to pick up a few minerals. Especially coal to go with your wood. You get stuck somewhere, you run out of torches, it will save your life. Or at least make the night not be so dull if you manage to build yourself a little cottage somewhere. I started over there, I left a breadcrumb, but let me plop another one there. As always, if you guys have any other questions or you want to see some specific type of tip, leave a comment, let me know what it is you'd like to see. I'd be more than happy to go ahead and do a whole video on it. Even if it's something general, like, you know, how do I find a good place in the wild to set up a fort? You know, some things are obvious and some things are not so obvious, and no question should be turned away. Now, early in the game, a simple single row of torches will be enough to lead you right back home. But when you've gone through several nights and you run out into different places, you might find yourself wandering in circles, chasing your own trail of torches around and around. When that becomes the case, you're going to have to find some more creative way of leaving your breadcrumbs. And there's a couple obvious ones. Here's one that means this is the direction toward my house. An arrow. You can't go wrong with an arrow. It obviously means you should follow me that way. Whether it's to safety, to danger, you should remember your own. And if arrows alone are too ambiguous, put a specific type of block down. Maybe a stone arrow means this way to a cave or something like that. Torches, of course, always great because you can see them at a distance at night. And they'll keep away spawning monsters. But monsters can, of course, enter the light, but they can't spawn there. So the rumor goes. I haven't actually proven that. Large field here. This is the type of place that would be absolutely perfect to start a giant castle. And the reason is you don't have to do a lot of terraforming to go along with your construction. All you would need to do is either level some area down or other area up here, and you'd have a nice large flat spot with which to build your castle. You don't even have to do that if you don't want to. You can simply make a level 2 wall here of stone, and then it's equal to this area over here. But I tend to flatten the whole area out first. That way it just looks uniform and looks good. Some people play this game with a utility perspective, meaning that everything that they build has to have a purpose. Other people, love the game because they can build something that just looks good. And I think there are a lot more people who choose to build stuff that looks impressive, even if it doesn't function perfectly. And that's, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to build something that is important. I built a whole village out of mud once, little mud huts and little signs that said, "Welcome to this hut" or that hut, and so forth. Another great tip for exploring is you can find a large vantage point up high, and you can use that to look around. But if you can't find one, you can always just build one using dirt, because dirt is pretty quick to dissolve when you're using even your bare hands, and much faster with a shovel. Just build straight up to the sky and look around and survey your domain. It's getting dark soon, so I'm not going to be up here too long. But as you can see, this is the type of thing I'm talking about here. This is a very distinctive cliff, and if I remember what it looks like, I'll be able to find my way from there back somewhere else. We got a pit, we got a couple little caves here, here's our coastline, and you can see my torches already because it's starting to get dark, and I happen to know that my town is somewhere in that direction, my base. So let's disintegrate this here. Looks like it's been about 10 minutes, so I'm going to end the video when I get to the bottom here and run back to my base. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any more questions, please let me know. If you'd like me to expand further on this, that's perfectly fine too. I'm sure there's other things I can talk about relating to overworld exploration. Die, pigs! And, you know, as long as you guys are getting stuff, getting tips that are helping you out in the game, then I'm doing my job, and we'll keep doing them. So just leave comments, ask me what it is you'd like to see, and until next time, thanks for watching. This is Dr. Zombie.